Well, here we go again. Lost thoughts for This Place is Death. And as we did last week, let's start with the title of the episode. This Place is Death, as it was for Charlotte. And clearly, if you don't play by the rules, the island will eliminate you from the game. Charlotte had been to the island. She had been told by Daniel Faraday, wow, that she could not go back. And yet curiosity killed the cat. Her curiosity in her life brought her back to the island and eventually killed her. Now, time is clearly running out for everybody, and that's what the bloody noses mean. As everybody has a bloody nose, the clock is ticking on the end game, and they are beginning to feel it. Now, in the beginning of the episode, and again, the island is revealing itself with these jumps through time, and Rousseau's team is there with the radio, and you clearly hear someone other than Rousseau doing the numbers, and the numbers are the same. And I think that the person reading those numbers is Hurley. Wow. That means that everybody has, in fact, lived these life moments out before, and for some reason the island brings them back at certain times. So some people can come back if it's essential to the space-time continuum, and that's why these people have to come back, because when Desmond broke the space-time continuum, everything changed on the island. Now, the other thing was when Jin came out of the jungle and saw Rousseau shooting Robert, Robert's firing pin didn't work because that's exactly what Rousseau told Saeed when Saeed came to her cabin and tried to pull the trigger. The firing pin had already been removed, which tells you that that had been predetermined as well. Now, the temple that Jin finds, wow, I wanted him to go into the rabbit hole. I wanted to see where that underworld was. And it's clear that the temple, which is where Ben told his daughter to go at that crucial time, is for some a very safe place and for others a very dangerous place. And this is clearly now Cerberus, the dark monster who guards the underworld. And if you remember back to last season when the logo of the show changed, you began to see that there was an underworld to this island place, and what that all means, I have no idea. But I wanted Jin to go in that hole so badly, and he didn't because he wasn't supposed to. The hieroglyphs on the temple were a repeat of the hieroglyphs in the hatch when the 108 expired, and they revealed the hieroglyphs. So clearly there's an ancient four-toed statue beginning to this whole thing, but those hieroglyphs, when you translate them, say it's the underworld. And clearly that's a key to the show, and I think at some point they're going to explain the security system of time. I loved when Miles said, "Don't look at me, I'm from Encino." And now you have to start thinking about the black and the white, the good and the bad, and who was put in certain places to affect what is happening in this place. And you have Abaddon, who put Charlotte in place, he put Faraday in place, and he put Charlotte in place. Abaddon obviously was black. He is what you would appear to be a dark piece in the game puzzle. So Charlotte dies, being put in place by Widmore. Desmond is now another X Factor put in place by Widmore. And Ben is being portrayed as a bad guy, as a liar. And I wonder ultimately if he's not going to represent the good guys, Michael. I think that could be interesting. The other thing is that the level of violence in this episode was beyond anything that we've seen. The arm being ripped off, the shot to the head, very, very violent. And clearly I think that portends the ending of this game is going to be very, very violent when things wind down. Now you have Ben's freak out in the van, the reincarnation van. Ben has never freaked out. Ben has always had a plan. But what was happening was that Kate is now gone. And the pieces that he's trying to put in place for the end game to recreate itself is not what he wants it to be. And he freaks out because Jack is putting sympathy in the mind of Sun, and Ben needs Sun to be part of this whole thing. Now we go back to Locke. Locke, the chosen one, picked by Richard Alpert at birth, making all these bad decisions in his life. He's the ultimate pawn. He was never meant to be the leader. He was simply a messenger to deliver the ring, because Ben knew at that time, in that place, he needed some symbol to give to Sun to tell her that Jin was alive. The message that Jin gave to Locke was never delivered. So he was simply a messenger to bring the ring from the island so that Ben could give it to Sun, so that Sun was in the program. Now we get to some key lines. When Locke is in the hatch and Christian Shepherd, the time coach, shows up, he's irritated. Ben didn't fulfill his destiny to turn the wheel. And clearly, Ben took over at that moment to turn the wheel, and didn't do it the proper way. And so that led to the island bouncing around in time. Locke's mission now, with Christian as his guide, is to lock things down and put the island in one place again so that they can find it. And so Locke does that. But as his destiny is, his legs are to be injured. Apparently, for whatever reason, thrown out the window of the office building, falling off the tree, which is the question mark, or in this instance, falling down the hatch, which he says to Sawyer, by the way, what fun would it be if I didn't just jump down? What fun would it be to play this game and not do it with the danger that was involved, this game that's being played? So, is Sawyer a black or a white? Is Juliet a black or a white? I have a feeling that since Juliet was handpicked by Ben, she's on Ben's side of the equation here. So now they go to Hawking. And Hawking, who is Faraday's mom, is in a church, a place of religion. She is a believer. And I love the look on Ben's face because Ben had no idea that Desmond had made it off the island as well. So Desmond continues to be an X factor in this game. Now Mrs. Hawking is going to explain how the island windows appear. And if you don't think the Axis Mundi plays a role in this, you're wrong, because clearly the scene from next week's episode, where the pendulum swings back and forth, is how they predict where the island is going to show up and how they get back to it. So, you have the lines from Christian, I'm here to help you to the end. I'm here to help you, Locke, to the end of the game. And that's clearly the end of the game. Now you have Widmore, who had been exposed to the island. He had seen the gloriousness of the island, and for some reason he's left and can't come back now. Charlotte, you can't come back. Ben is off the island. Widmore is off the island, and now the island will be either made whole and connected to the mysterious place that it was, or not. That we start to find out next week. See you then. Join us here at MSG.com.